So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am currently sitting here by myself. Donovan had something to do today, so he will be with us the next time we come on here. But right off the top, I'd like to say the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also, like to say big hello and giant welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but sometimes we share the link. I don't know if I'll do it today because it's just me today. But as I said, Donovan, I had something to do, but he will be joining us next time. Hello, Black America. How you doing? So today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but I kind of want to lead off with something I saw right before I came on here. And it's in regards to a woman losing 100 pounds and then deciding to cheat on her husband for whatever reason. And so also, if you guys want to talk about something, please throw it in the comment section and we can discuss that. So I'll play it by ear, see if I'm going to open the link or not. Hello, Angela. How are you doing today? So I'm going to give people just a little bit more time to come on. Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? I kind of just want to address something just really quickly before I get started. Now, of course, y'all know that Donovan and I had a really heated, I guess you could say it was really heated situation last week. So about a week ago at this point. And sometimes people say and do things that they should not do and say. So I want to say, just for me, because I am the host of the show, that I apologize. And I did apologize to Donovan. We had a, nice conversation and, we talked like we normally talk. So, nothing there, but we came to some agreements and things like that. And, you guys will start to see the difference in future shows or whatever. But I just want to say to, my audience, and as I said to Donovan, my apologies for things getting kind of wild and loose, if you will, on last Tuesday. But, as Donovan and I were talking, it's like when, and this is just in life, when you're going to do certain things, whatever it is, sometimes you get tested because you're supposed to rise, to higher aspirations. A lot of times, especially when we do these type of platforms, we tend to get lazy. When I say we, I'm really speaking of myself, and not really realizing, okay, we got to start taking things a little bit above and beyond, right? My thing is always trying to set ourselves apart from everybody else. And so I would say, regardless of no, that's not a lover spat, Black America. Regardless of what's going on, how me and Donovan we interact. I think that between Donovan and I, there's not too many people that's as I mean, obviously there's people who's smarter than us, but I think Donovan and I do pretty well between the both of us. We do have a wealth of knowledge between the both of us. And sometimes, we do butt heads. Of course, that's not a secret to y'all. But I am, saying me personally, I'm going to, rise, challenge myself to go above and beyond. Oops, lost my mic. Go above and beyond. And, just try to make this a better show. Really try to minimize the arguing, if you will, and just realize sometimes we just have to agree to disagree. As Donovan said, allow people to have their own opinions. And, sometimes I can, be a little bit on the staunch side of, well, no, that's not right, whatever the case is. So I'm just, acknowledging some of my flaws. And I know y'all think I'm perfect. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. I'm acknowledging my flaws. I don't think that I'm perfect. And sometimes it does take for somebody to, really kind of point things out. So Donovan and I, we are in a good place. And I would always say, they say it's in regards to relationships, what God has put together, no man could put asunder. Well, that's kind of like it is with me and Donovan. Regardless of what goes on, Donovan's going to be my guy. because Donovan has been there for me. I've been there for Donovan, and that's just the way it's going to be. So nothing, nowhere, nobody on the internet, off the internet, is going to break me and Donovan's great and sometimes tumultuous friendship up. So nevertheless, he does have something to do today. So he will be back. So y'all look forward to an even better show, because at the end of the day, as I said, and we learn a lot from y'all. We just do. We learn a lot from y'all. But we have a responsibility to make sure that we are hosting the best, most authentic show that we can. So that is going to be my promise to you guys from this point on. So anyway, what you say? You just mean, the old man said. I'm not mean. So anyway, let me see who all came on here, and then we'll get into what we are going to talk about. And Ashley, how you doing? Your average logical thinker. What's going on with you? Love JJ, how you doing? And that guy from Texas, how you doing? Peace on to you as well. Black America, he said it wasn't that bad. Well, some people thought that it was, and I've never been one of those type of people that's like, I'm gonna die on a hill, right? Like, I'm not gonna give. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, because we don't grow that way. And I can be wrong. And if somebody tells me that I said something or did something that was offensive, I really can't tell them how to receive that. I can only just take them at their word and say, if I did something to you, it's my apologies. I didn't mean it, or whatever the case is. But I try not to tell people I didn't offend you, even though I might have not thought I did, but it was how they received and perceived it. So I just don't like to have things linger unnecessarily. Hello, Easy. How you doing? OG Patrice, what's going on with you? The average logical thinker says, that's awesome. That's true Black love, being the bigger person on both sides. Yeah, at the end of the day, Donovan and I, we got each other's back at the end of the day. And I know a lot of times when y'all see it, which is why I said, too, we got to really be careful, because a lot of times people see it and their nerves ain't really built for that. Like, oh, my God. They fighting. Are they going to be all right? Whatever the case is. So I don't want to cause people to have anxiety watching the show. I want everybody, to kind of just feel welcome. I know sometimes it gets a little tight, but I never want to get tight to the point to where people are like, well, I can't watch. It's just too hard to watch type of thing. So I'm going to try my best. JBWR, how you doing? Says, I'm glad you guys are okay. You guys are a solid team. Yeah, absolutely. What Donovan and I have, it's undeniable. You can work with a lot of people, but Donovan and I's chemistry, the way we bounce off of each other, whether we agree or disagree, it's rare. So we've been doing this a long time too. So sometimes there's fatigue that sets in, because outside of the show, we both have, a lot of other stuff that's going on. So sometimes, we're human. At the end of the day, we are human, and sometimes emotions get kind of raw and all that other stuff. And, on that particular show as well, I kind of said some things that I didn't kind of say. I said some things to, I think her name was Sonji. I haven't seen her back on here. That I would say was out of character for me. So, if she comes on, I will apologize. But if she doesn't, I'm apologizing to her because I try to, I can't teach y'all or tell y'all about emotional intelligence and not exercise it myself. So, and Love JJ says, I don't know the situation, but you were especially disrespectful to him. Were you especially disrespectful to him personally? Says, if not, then why the need for the apology? You give space for people to speak. Why are you carrying this load? Because as I said, somebody says that they didn't like what I said, and I was offensive to them. I can only really just take them at their word. And Donovan truly is my really good friend, and so I don't ever want him to feel attacked or in a bad. Not saying that these are his words. I'm just saying for me, I don't want him to ever feel like he's in a bad space with me, or he's not able to speak his mind or anything like that. So if Donovan says that he didn't like what I said, then I'm going to apologize to him. I don't have pride in that way to where I can't apologize. So Shaniqua, how you doing? Thank you so much. And Black America said, you just mean, the old man said it. No, I ain't mean. And Troy, how you doing? The average logical thinker says that's what the devil wants, division. Glad you're fighting it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. When you're going to do bigger and greater things, especially y'all know how it goes when we are, I say we, it's not just Donovan and I, it's y'all too. When we are raising the consciousness of our people, there's going to be a whole lot of distractions. And that's just something that we have to unlearn, because we should be able to talk about things that go on in our community, especially with Black men and women, without really, just it going exploding, if you will. So, Thunder, how you doing? He says, "Thank you, DK, for saying this. It really means a lot to hear you say this." Yeah, I mean, because like I said, and I know some of y'all, and Thunder, you probably one of the longest followers on this show. You've been here for a few years, so I know you kind of been here from the beginning, and some of the things that you've seen lately, I know you're kind of like, well, that's not really the show that I'm used to watching. You know what I mean? So I don't want you guys to, really see much of that. We want to be intelligent people around here. Michi, how you doing? Say, that's right, point blank period. You are a great duo. Yes, indeed. And Gary Mack, how you doing? Says, y'all like Will and Jada, nothing can break y'all up. We Will and Jada from YouTube. I guess you could see it that way. And y'all know Donovan, as he tells you all the time, he is an alpha man, and I shall not be moved. And you can respect him for that. And it's not my job per se to try to move him, right? Donovan's gonna have his opinion, and Donovan is not always staunchly pro male. As I tell you all the time, Donovan, he really does a lot for Black women, a lot of stuff that he doesn't even really talk about. So he's not all macho, if you will. And Soto, how you doing? Jan Michael, what's going on with you? You say hey and greetings. He says, I wasn't aware of a difference of views between you, but happy it's been assessed and accounted for. Congratulations. Oh yeah, we good. And Michi say, I don't know what happened, but I'm sure you all will rise above it and keep creating amazing content. Y'all aren't new to this. Y'all are true to this. You better tell them. Hello, Brian. How you doing? Shaniqua says, I love you both, Dimitri K and Donovan Sadiq. Our real friends and family always bounce back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's real, then you're going to bounce back. And I know sometimes some things happen. It's like, ain't no coming back from that. But, it's never really that serious between Donovan and I. And Love JJ says, I hope this doesn't put you in a place of like you have the guard, everything you say. You will offend folks unknowingly, not even being offensive knowingly. Donovan can be offensive sometimes. Yeah, no, y'all know it ain't going. How can I say this? I'm gonna have my opinion. Donovan's gonna have his opinion, but I think we need to always remember to be respectful, because sometimes when you're on here and you're saying what you're saying and it's heated and I'm gonna get my point across. Sometimes respect does get put on the back burner. So we're not going to bridle our opinions, because then that would be faking it, right? Like, oh gosh. And neither one of us want each other to walk on eggshells, but we need to always remember, to be respectful of each other. That should be most important out of everything. Be respectful so that it just becomes a better show. And you also say, we carry on. You mean well. This is why I watch you. And thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. And Asarti, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says Shalom, my first time catching it live. Yay! Jamarcus, how you doing? And Love JJ says alpha males need to be checked sometimes. It's necessary. Either way, I'm glad you discussed it. Yeah, the one good thing about Donovan and I is we do have the ability to listen to each other and take stock of what each other's saying. And Donovan and I's thing, it goes beyond the internet. Of course, y'all know we travel all over the world together, and we spend a copious amount of time on the phone talking about everything. So, we're always going to be friends. And Till Dog 12, how you doing? You say, as long as there aren't any entanglements, y'all good. And well, ain't no entanglements because we not together. Donovan is my good friend. He ain't my boyfriend. Nayaka, how are you doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. All right. And Marcus, how you doing? All right. So y'all ready to get to why we are here today? All right. So as I said, I saw this, and then y'all can bring up other stuff after we get done talking about this or whatever. I love JJ says once again the black woman makes it right. Well, that's our job. We supposed to uh be, how can I say this? I used to always say the and I say this in regards to the mama, but I say this too in regards to women. We supposed to be damn, I just slipped my mind. That's what happens when you get old. We're supposed to be the uniter and not the divider, right? So it's our job to say, hey, you know what? How can I figure out how to unite us? Because they say what a nation can rise no higher than its woman. So if the woman is, stuck on pride and I'm not gonna apologize to you, sucker, just that, then we're not ever gonna go nowhere. And I'm not one of those type of people's like, well, I'm just gonna suck it up, just move things along, because then I get held, I get stuck with the baggage too, and it doesn't get resolved. But I am one for saying, hey, you know what? If you felt like I did you wrong, and whatever the case is, I don't have a problem with apologizing to you. It's an apology, full stop. So I love JJ says one. It says your job. Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel that way. I feel like as I said, as the woman, the nation not being able to rise higher, no higher than a woman being the first teacher, it is our job. Now, I'm not saying it's not the man's job to at least meet us in the middle, but we should be uniters as much as possible. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to say. So I'm not saying it's just my job as the woman. It's his job too, but I just kind of see things a little bit differently. And Nayaka, you say absolutely. I agree. I'm the same way. And you guys on YouTube and Facebook, y'all can't see each other's comments. So I try my best to put them up there. All right. So let's get into why we're here. So I saw this on the internet, and I thought that was really interesting because I actually thought about facts, not feelings, when I was looking at this, because he made a comment a couple shows ago saying that I think he said like 95% of women cheat. And in my mind, I was like, for real? But that's, his opinion or whatever. So when I saw this, it made me think of him. So I'm going to put this up and then we can have a discussion around it.
I lost the weight. I was different. My behaviors were different.
What do you mean?
I dressed differently. I wore more fitting clothes. I started to go out a lot more with my girlfriends, more than ever. I started getting a lot of attention, a lot more attention from men, and I didn't know how to handle it. So met a guy at work, and we started to become friends. He was very flirtatious, gave me a lot of attention. I had just had a baby. I was about a year postpartum, and I was feeling, the weight was gone, but I was still feeling bad. I was feeling bored and frumpy, and I just wanted some excitement. And he and I became friends, and it was innocent at first. And then it gradually started to progress into something a little more inappropriate each day.
All right. I don't know who that woman is. I saw it. It sounds like it's been around for this particular clip a couple of months, but I saw it trending again recently. So as y'all heard her say, she lost 100 pounds, and she said she wasn't feeling good, I guess, about herself. Even still, she was bored. Of course, it's something at work. It sounds like it was a younger guy, if I'm not mistaken, too. So she started having an affair on her husband. Now, in another portion of it that I saw, the guy was asking her, she was actually telling the guy, well, when my husband and I broke up or whatever, people were saying, well, what did he do? What did he do? Did he cheat? And she was like, no, it wasn't nothing he did. But she says, she gets, I guess she was acknowledging that a lot of times when people break up, they always think or tend to think most of the time that it's the man. But she was like, no, it was me. I got the feeling myself, lost all these LBs, and, I guess she wanted some more excitement. So I want to have a conversation with y'all about that. I have my opinion on, of course, I'm going to give it. But I'm going to read y'all comments first. How about that? Your average logical thinker, you say, I finally caught Donovan's channel and he needs to go into politics. Oh, yeah, Donovan knows his stuff with politics. The one thing we never going to do is begrudge Donovan of politics. Y'all know, of course, Donovan ran to be city council twice, and I was his campaign manager, PR and all of that. And Donovan had the solutions. He had the great ideas. And Donovan was like boots to the ground. He wasn't just, okay, well, let me go hand out some flyers, which we did do that too. Vote for me. But he really was knocking on doors, seeing what people's issues were. And even to this day, even though he's not on the city council, Donovan goes, he'll literally have people knock on his door because everybody kind of knows where Donovan lives. And they'll say, oh, I'm having this issue in my neighborhood or this, that, and the other. And he'll say, okay. And he'll go down to City Hall and he'll tell them this is what the deal is. And they know Donovan at City Hall, like he about that life. So they get stuff done. But it's like, what kind of sucks is they didn't want Donovan on the seat though, and we know it's big money in politics and stuff like that. But they didn't want him on the seat so he could really like bring home the bacon for his district. But they go and knock on his door. Hey, I need you, because they know Donovan will get stuff done. I've been with them, out campaigning and talking to people, all kind of stuff. I mean, one time we went and talked to these, it was what you call the hood, if you will. And this lady literally had a gaping hole in her ceiling, and it was raining and water was just dripping down. And she had a bucket to catch it. So she's like, I've been calling City Hall to try to get the landlord to do this, that, and the other, and they won't do it. So Donovan went to City Hall, got on their bumper, and they fixed it. And Donovan says, because we were hosting a debate, like Donovan was hosting a debate for everybody to come. He says, I'm having a debate. Y'all, it's literally right around the corner. Can y'all show up to the debate so y'all can hear the issues and things like that? Do you know those people didn't even show up? After Donovan wasn't even in the seat, went and fixed, got those people's hole in their roof fixed. And then as we were going to the debate, we saw the lady and she walking with some man, was like, y'all gonna show up? Yeah. We going to the house real quick. And then we gonna show up. And they never showed up. So, but yeah, Donovan, he definitely knows the stuff with politics. All right, so let's see here. You also say the weight loss brought the 304. The weight loss brought the 304 out of her. Yeah, and when I think about that, I'm like, so you lose 100 pounds and you decide to cheat on your man? Like, I don't know. I find that to be weird, but I'm sure y'all going to enlighten me. I love JJ, you crazy. Talking about, here we go. I'm just reading the comments. Black America says men and women can't be friends. Sure we can. We can be friends. I'm friends with men. Donovan's my friend. We could be friends. Amanda, you say, let me lose 100 pounds. Hide your daddy, hide your granddaddies. Well, you already got to hide the daddies and the granddaddies without you losing 100 pounds. So I think they like all of that. And Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? And Facts Not Feeling say 99% of all women cheat. Given the opportunity, it's a woman's nature to seek out the best, most successful man over the one she is currently with. So I don't know. I think 99%, and I must be in the 1% because I haven't cheated. I think 99% of all women cheat is that's rather high, don't you think? Or can I ask you this? Do you perhaps think that 99% of the women that you were with cheated or maybe cheated on you? Because I think 99% is high. I actually know a lot of women who don't cheat or have never cheated. And yeah, I know some women who have cheated, and that's just kind of their thing, right? They, like that lady said, I got bored. So I do know some women that get bored and they're like, let me see what else is out there, but I'm just one of those women. I've never cheated, so I can't, really speak to the number part of it. Black America says, I'm in Riverside. River Tucky. You say 3 times a week. I don't know where he lives. Well, he actually lives in Moreno Valley. So kind of the same thing, but it's not. So of course, Moreno Valley is like the next city over. So it's really right next door. Riverside County, nevertheless. So yeah, but 3 times a week, that's where my family is, Riverside. And Ja, how you doing? Blessings to you as well. Love JJ says, I believe there was something within the marriage they were dealing with even before her losing the weight. I mean, maybe it was, but per what she was saying, she lost the weight, maybe thinking, because that's the thing too. A lot of people lose the weight thinking, okay, if I lose all this weight, all my problems are going to be gone. Not necessarily. The weight is, I think, a symptom of whatever is causing you to maybe gain the weight. I don't know. But yeah, people lose weight and somehow, they get a lot more attention because maybe people are looking at them more than noticeable. They got a little bit of, curves and all that kind of stuff going on. But it's like, it sounded like you had a man that was down for you like four flats and you lose some weight and maybe somebody outside of your marriage is like, damn girl, you looking good, and you thought that was optimal. And so it doesn't sound like she ended up with the guy. It just sounds like he just kind of want to roll around in the hay with her or whatever. So it's like you ruined your marriage because you lost 100 pounds. So it could have been something there before then. I just tend to think sometimes people get a big head and they think more of themselves than they ought to, because that man, your husband, was with you when you was 100 pounds heavier, and he stayed with you. He loved you, or whatever. But then you didn't return the same favor when you got Foxy on. I don't know. I'm wondering, Love JJ. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just asking questions. Miss Sweet Talks, how are you doing this fine evening? And Yanni, what's going on with you? And Jaya say lost weight, got attention, that went straight to her head. I tend to think that's what it is, because we know people who do that. I've known people who have done that, lost a bunch of weight, and people are looking at them now, and they can put on some tight jeans or short skirts or whatever, and they don't know how to handle the attention. You know what I mean? Uh, oh, and so okay, got you. So you're saying given the opportunity. So you're saying given the opportunity, you think 99% of women would cheat? I mean, I would say I've been given the opportunity before, but I've never taken it. Like when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't even see anybody else. Like I'm not focused on anybody else. I don't even say, damn, well, look at that. Nothing. So you're saying given the opportunity. I don't know. Miss Wee's talking says, cheat for what? I should have cheated in my Keisha Cole voice. I actually like that song if you really listen to it, but she's just basically saying if I'd have known what you was, you was gonna do what you did to me, I should have cheated. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm a Keisha Cole fan, so that's probably me being a little biased. Black America says women do things for themselves. She didn't lose the weight for her husband. I think I would agree with that. Because if she would have lost the weight for her husband, then her getting in a relationship outside of the marriage, then I don't even know if her husband was asking her to lose the weight or, anything like that. But that's just mind blowing to me. You got somebody who was with you, who loves you when you're fluffy and cushiony and shading in the summertime and heating in the winter, all of that. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, sucker, I'm finna go get, pounced on by some other dude. Yeah, that's kind of all right. I see somebody on here trolling, say he Malcolm X. I dated white women and I dated white men, but guess what? You finna date that block. Okay, so let's see here. Love JJ. You say I think many women cheat emotionally because the ones that they are with are not providing them with emotional support and stimulation. I think that's true for some women, and I think that could be true for men too. Because I know, and I know where you're going with that. Because a lot of times we hear, well, women cheat because they're not getting something at home. That could be true. But I just think, as Facts Not Feelings said, I think it's really about opportunity, and it's about taking advantage of something you wouldn't have ordinarily taken advantage of. I mean, because let's keep it a buck. I think most of us had the opportunity to cheat, because it's somebody for everybody, even outside of your relationship. But I think it's the people who decide, well, I'm going to look to the left, look to the right, make sure ain't nobody going to catch me, and then I'm going to do it, right? But I think the same thing's true for men. I think they cheat because they feel like they're not being emotionally fed or whatever the case is. Because a lot of times they say men cheat because they're horny, because they could, and they couldn't resist. I think everything is true for everybody. And of course, I'm not speaking from a cheater's point of view, so I can't really speak to that. Facts Not Feelings says, okay, 99% of women cheat, but only 40, you crazy. Only 40% admit to it. I don't know. That you might be on to something. I think that's a rather high number. I really do. I can't imagine 99%. I don't even think 99% of men cheat. That's almost all. That's like saying all people cheat. So that means that there's people in relationships with each other, and they've just been cheating on each other. You know what I mean? Or I don't know, they would if they could. Frank, how are you doing? You say City Council of Poughkeepsie won't budge on repairs to their Rip Van Winkle apartments deteriorating under Poughkeepsie management. Yeah, and if you don't mind me asking, what part of town is that in? Because that's very telling. And I think I kind of know, because in them other people's neighborhoods, they don't have stuff dilapidated like that. They get right on it, right? But typically in our neighborhoods, they like, because a lot of times they know we're apathetic and we're not going to do nothing. We're not going to show up. We're not going to raise hell. And I gave y'all a perfect example. Donovan, went and helped get the lady's roof fixed. And when she was for months trying to get the city council to get on the slumlord's bumper, and she wouldn't even show up. Like, this man literally came in your house and I was there with him, and took care of your issue. And you didn't, like, literally, it was probably like a 5-minute walk around the corner. She didn't even show up. So I'm not saying this about you, Frank, but some of that is on us too, right? Like, you got a bum city council sitting up there. For one, we don't show up to vote. And state and local elections, they usually don't have a high voter turnout. But those are the places where it matters the most, right? Yeah, I got rid of Malcolm. Bogus Malcolm X. He was tripping. Sagittarius, she said, yeah, I know someone like that. And Michi say, she lost the weight and she still wasn't happy with herself. And then lose the man, come on now, who was riding with her when she was a big girl. Absolutely. That it's just like, how do you get that full of yourself to where I don't know. It's like, did you think the man at sound like he was at work? Did you think that man was going to like wisp you off your feet and take care of you? Like, what, like, what are we doing here? You throw away a whole marriage because you threw away. And then in that particular video, she looked like she gained some weight. So it's like, now what? Looked like she gained some of the weight back. So now what? What are we doing now? Where are we at with this? Miss Sweet Talk just said men and women definitely will act brand new after weight loss or getting in shape. Yeah, and I'm a witness now. I got in shape when I was single back in 2004. I'm sorry, 2014. I was acting brand new, but I was single. That's a different story. So yeah, we it does go to our head like, shoot, I can get in. Now I was too small. I got into a size 4. I was pretty small. But yeah, our head our body gets small and our head get big. But you in a relationship and you thumbing your nose at your man because you lost 100 pounds, just like you lost that 100 pounds, you can find the two, sis. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I got him, CB. How you doing? And your average logical thinker, he says, I'm the same way. I don't even look twice when I'm in a serious relationship. Nah, not. Y'all, how the horses have those little things on their head like that, where you only focus on what's in front of you, not what's going on the side. That's how it should be. But then and let's see here. And in Ross, how you doing? He says infidelity is not an option. Yeah, a lot of people treat it as though it is an option. A lot of people do, and it shouldn't be. I get it. Sometimes things get stale and we get bored or whatever, but it's like, spruce it up. Try something new. And a lot of times too, and I tell y'all about this a lot, especially like we get used to a person. Like when we first meet them, we got a hair done, or if you're a man, you got your hair cut and you're smelling nice and you looking good. But then when you get in that relationship, then you start wearing the sweats. Then you might not, come out of the bonnet as much. or any of that. But then it's like they say back in the day, whatever it took to get your baby hooked, that's the same thing to basically keep them hooked, or whatever it is that you got to make them look. That same thing you need to keep doing to keep them hooked. So we can't get stagnant and say, I'm not gonna dress up today or whatever. Because as my dad always told me, and again, I'm not saying this is a reason. He says, especially for women back in the day, because my dad is 80. When a woman stays at home, and the last thing he sees is her in a bonnet, the bathrobe, or whatever the case is, and he goes out the door. Okay, honey, I'll see you when I get home. Then he come home, and you don't look too much differently than that. He says what women got to realize is, again, he's a traditional, from traditional standpoint, when a woman stay home, what women need to realize is when that man is out there in the workforce, in the world, he is, around women that smell good, that look good, and hey, how you doing? Oh, you sure look nice today. And then he come home to you, and and then maybe you're not so kind to him. So he says that starts to look good. Not that it should be an option, but then, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's got my attention now. So, and I know, you wearing some lipstick and some heels, or, as a man getting your hair cut, that is not going to totally deter a person from cheating. But at least you could say, it wasn't me. So, yeah, so yeah, Malcolm is out of here. Miss Sweet Talks, you say talking to Black America Fly Guy. How you doing? He says, Power Stone. Laugh my ass off. Hey. And then your average logical thinker says, sound like husband wasn't appreciative, so she was able to get got. I just kind of feel like this. I guess I get where you're going with that. But I feel like if your husband wasn't appreciative, is that the thing that you go do? Like you go cheat, or do you? I don't know. Maybe she did have a conversation, or do you just say, "Hey, honey, I'm not feeling appreciated. I just feel like you're not paying attention to me. Is there something going on? Is there something that I need to do to kind of get you to look a little bit more?" And as I said too, and Donovan and I, when we have these conversations, and this is just me because I know how we are as women. Sometimes we make it hard for a man to say, "You're getting a little fluffy." Of course, he would find a different way to say that, but sometimes we do. What you mean? What you mean I'm getting a little fluffy? That it's safe for better or worse, and then it's like, yikes. So sometimes we do paint the man, and we put him in a corner to where he's like, damn, I really want to find a good way to say, you gained a little bit too much weight for me or whatever. Because when we met and all of that, so sometimes it gets kind of hard to have that conversation. Not always, but so she wasn't feeling appreciated. I think she probably should have had that conversation, but then again, I don't know if she didn't. Marie, how you doing? Says, if you are bored, read a book, exercise, hobbies, and travel with loved ones. Cheating will never solve nothing. Yeah, you end up on the worst end of the stick. Because a lot of times when you're cheating, you end up cheating on somebody who was really good to you, who really loved you. And then you get out there in the streets, and then you get with somebody who just wanted to hop up and down on you, right? Or, wanted to use you for a little fun, couple minutes, and they like, yeah, okay, that was cool for me. But I'm gonna go back to doing what I was doing, but then you can't go back home. So I totally agree with you. Figure out a way to become on board. There's a million, probably a trillion things in the world one can do to not be bored. But to say, I think I'm gonna have a little romp with, old dude in cubicle 3. I think that's probably should be the last thing on the list, right? And he probably ain't do but two minutes anyway. So you ruined your marriage over 2 minutes. Thunder, you say, I don't understand the boredom. If she has a full hysterectomy and a full set of removable dentures, it doesn't make sense to me about being bored. Yeah, we all get bored, right? But you get bored to the point of selfishness, to where you're gonna do something to hurt somebody because you're bored. I mean, especially if you marry, and again, I don't know how long they were married. I'm sure maybe in the longer clip she said. But if you're with somebody for hell after 6 months, because within the 6 months, people putting their best foot forward. Oh, I really love you. Oh, I really love you too. Oh, there's nothing you can do to make me mad. Oh gosh, you just Your hair could be sticking up all over the place. Ooh, that don't change it. I love it. But at the 7-month mark, it's like, you gonna wear your hair like that? You know what I mean? So within that 6 months time, we really still kind of feeling each other. But after that, yeah, some boredom is gonna set in, and you have to say, okay, what do we need to do to spice it up? You know? Uh Facts Not Feeling says women cheat because they want to, not because what men are not providing. I've heard that too. I think everybody cheats because they want to. Because Facts Not Feelings, let me ask you this: can somebody really make you cheat? Now I get that maybe somebody can maybe do or say something to make you feel away, but can they make you cheat? Like say, well, I wouldn't have cheated if you didn't do A, B, C, and D. You made do it. Can somebody really make you do it? I tend to think everybody cheats because they want to, because you can always say, you know what, I'm not feeling you anymore. I'm gonna leave you and I'm gonna go be with somebody else. So they're still an out. So people who are cheating, I really believe it's truly because they want to do that. Uh, Troy says, usually when a woman loses weight, it means that they are leaving you. I wouldn't say always. Some women, I think a lot of women lose weight probably because they're like, okay, it's time. Um, Maybe, I don't know. I would imagine there's some women that's like, yeah, I'm out of here, but what you leaving them for? You mean you had a man that loved you and with all your LBs and all that you were, he loved you unconditionally, and you're gonna lose some weight and potentially go gain a loser? I don't know. Janelle, how you doing? It says, if you are lonely, get a dog. Don't be a dog. Well, damn. We write that down. Yeah, there's and I guess people can be lonely within a relationship. It's very possible, but when we're adults, we're supposed to be able to have conversations with each other. I'm just not. I'm feeling neglected. I'm feeling lonely. I know we've been together, but I'm feeling lonely. I feel like you don't pay me enough attention. And have a really good grown up conversation about that. But yeah, loneliness doesn't mean you should go and harm people. Miss Sweet Talks, you say, I agree 100%. Opportunity in getting away with something. Yeah. I mean, because when I was younger, I had men. I had a guy tell me, I was like 22, 23. He's an older guy. He says, don't you ever forget, men are as faithful as their opportunities. Now, I didn't know what that meant because I was young and it was kind of like, huh? But when I got older, I know what it meant, because basically what he was saying, I'm not saying it's true, but as a man, if he got women all around him, he might say no, but eventually he gonna say yes if there's opportunity for him to say yes. Which is why I understand the Jackie Christie's. What is her husband's name? I slipped my mind, but y'all know Jackie Christie. Her husband is a basketball player, and she will follow him everywhere. It couldn't be women in a locker room. Now I think that's a little bit extreme, but I get it, because it's like, nah, I know these hussies be out waiting outside the locker room, throwing underwear at them and all this other stuff. So I'm gonna be right there, because I'm not. I know opportunity is gonna make a man weak, and a lot of those women out there, they don't care. They looking for a man to catch up. So, love JJ. You say, I remember how Stella got her groove back, Angela, or was it Whitney, who didn't sleep with the man in the hotel? The man fed her emotionally. Yeah. Waiting to Exhale. That's the name of the movie. Waiting to Exhale. They met at the bar, whatever. He was still married. I guess his wife had cancer or whatever. So they weren't sexual, but there's definitely such a thing as emotional cheating. Having an emotional affair. And if you ask me, having an emotional affair is worse than a physical one, because physically you might be one and done, right? Okay, all right, I could have had a V8, whatever. I'll never do it again. I'll never see you again. But when a person has an emotional connection to somebody, and I know in the movie it was a little bit different, but when a person has an emotional connection to somebody, oh, that's hard to break, because emotional, they're attached. I'm feeling you. I get you. I understand you. Your wife doesn't understand, and my husband doesn't understand. So you have that. It goes beyond the physical. Does that make sense? And Cecilia, how you doing? It says my head hurts from people being dumbed down. Thank you, God, for enlightening me. Absolutely. And CB, thank you so much. It says peace, love, and much respect, Demetri, and the chat. Absolutely. And thank you once again for being here. But of course, how you doing? It says DC is here. Shalom. It says, hey, Miss Queen. Kay, how you doing, by the way? And Renz G, how are you doing today? And Ja, you say deuces cheat for I'm sorry, deuces. I don't know how I read that. Dudes cheat for status, get praise for money. I'm sorry, many lovers. I end up needing some glasses, y'all. Say it's a stupid part of our culture that destroys family and twists the sisters into our image. So you say they cheat for status, get praise for yeah, I could see that. I could see that because I've heard a lot of men saying, well, she didn't mean nothing to me, it's a primal thing and all that other stuff. But I guess I could get that. Thank you so much, Buckhorse. And he's how you doing? He says, I am for its I think it's yeah, size four. It's a perfect size for my 5'3" frame. Yeah, I'm 5'3", 5'4", depending on what day it is. Um, so a size four for me, I was 140 pounds. That was really small for me. I look like a bobblehead, for real. When my sister and my daughter was saying, "Oh, you too small. You look like a bobblehead." I'm like, "Y'all just hating. Oh, y'all just can't stand it." But when I look back at pictures, it's like, why y'all let me get that skinny and didn't say nothing? But some people are just meant to have a little bit of meat on their bones, and I'm one of them. So I don't ever want to get that small again. Facts Not Feeling says, here is an anecdotal reasoning for my position. African Diaspora News Channel did a report on Jamaican women. 70% of those women tested had a baby by a different man than their mate. So they had a baby by a different man than their mate. Also, you're saying that so they was out there getting their groove on with another man and got pregnant and then told their husband or their boyfriend, "Oh, the baby is yours." Is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's wild right there. I think that is so evil. That is so evil to do to somebody. Damn well you've been out there. Like it's like Maury. Like back in the day when I watched Maury like back in the day when it first came on. And then you have a woman sitting up there, nah, it's your baby. And be the woman and her mama. It's your baby. It ain't been nobody else. And you just don't want to take responsibility. And then Maury come out with the test and is like, you are 99% not the father. And then, of course, the woman does a tornado all over the floor. She runs backstage, hopping all up and down on the furniture and stuff. And it's like, come on now. When you sat up there, see, what that was shaking the dice, right? Like, okay, I'm going to gamble and hope that he is the baby father, whatever. But that is a horrible thing to do to somebody. I wouldn't recommend it. And Miss Me Talks, you say, if it gets boring, spice it up. Absolutely, yeah. Put a wig on, and there's my guy right there. I know I put him up at the wrong time, and I said, put a wig on. Or whatever. I could be blonde tonight. And I don't know if that's your man's thing or, a redhead or whatever it is you want, but figure out honey, what can I do? What do you want to see me do? I know I've been coming to bed with the chicken frying dress, house nightgown on that I done fried some chicken in and, housework. And now I'm jumping in the bed with the nightgown. You're probably not going to turn your man on with that. What is it that I can do? Because I don't want you to go out there and try to do that with somebody else. So those are the questions that we really need to be asking. Yes, and if y'all could hit the like button. And Facts Not Feeling says the other woman who did not have kids were not tested to see if they cheated. Like I said, virtual all women cheat. Lord have mercy. I hope not. But like I said, I don't have any hard data on that at all. Anna says no bonnets. And I get it. I don't wear a bonnet at all. My daughter tells me you should wear a bonnet. I wear a satin pillowcase because I have a hot head. No pun intended. but I have a hot head, and so I get hot at night, and I don't like my head all closed up and sweating and all that. So I don't personally even own a bonnet. Um, but yeah, and I think men understand too. Okay, my girl, she got to, her hair is done, it's nice or whatever. She don't want it to get messed up, so she gonna protect her hair. But I would say come up out the bonnet as much as you can. Or if you gonna go to bed and y'all gonna do something, yeah, you probably don't want to wear the bonnet. But when it's all said and done, be like, all right, sucker, I'm putting this bonnet back on. Good night. But I don't know. I can't tell people what to do. But yeah. And Shemesh, how you doing? He says, you are glowing. Is that sweat? It looks like it tastes sweet. No, it's not sweat. Although I can sweat, but I'm not sweating right now. And I don't know how it tastes now. But thank you. Mike, how you doing? He says a lot of the times when people cheat thinking the grass is greener somewhere else, they don't understand that the new person is not going to accept what you I think you meant what your ex did. They will drop you. It is fairy tale land. And like I said, I worked at a factory when I worked at Frito-Lay when I was in my young 20s into my 30s. I was there 13 years, and when I tell y'all, I seen and heard it all. I'm telling you, like I knew side pieces. That's kind of how I got familiar with what a side piece was, right? And they would be messing with the man or whatever, and I be like, you don't feel bad about that? And they're like, no, because I'm glad that he goes home to his wife and she has to do all of that stuff with him, and I just get to have fun. But after a while, the conversation would change. The side piece would be like this one girl, I knew. She says, I called his wife. I said, why did you do that? I called his wife because I told him I'm getting tired of spending holidays by myself, and I don't understand why he can't at least spend some time with me. And it's like, well, you kind of knew the job was dangerous before you took it. But nevertheless, it was rare that the man's wife left, or and that's the other thing too. Is like, you think calling his wife, and if she puts him out or whatever, he going, well, I guess I'm stuck with you now. No, he's probably gonna be pissed off and be like, I don't want to be with you either. Because 9 times out of 10, he got somebody else between you and his wife. So I don't know. But yeah, you're right. The grass it's manure over there too. Cecilia says, one of the ways my mom got my dad was not only her looks, but her cooking. Yeah. And now listen, I know I'm going to get in trouble. And when I say, as a woman, you should learn how to cook, I'm not saying that men should know how to cook. I think men should learn how to cook. I mean, because when you're single, you should learn how to take care of yourself, right? But yeah, cooking always helps, because most men will tell you, I want a woman that could cook. I don't want a woman that's going to heat up some hot water, pour it in a container with some noodles, put a bowl on top of it and be like, here's dinner. They want a woman that know how to, boil some hot dog water, at least golly. You know what I mean? So yeah, we should, if men are saying they want somebody to cook, you don't know how to cook, learn how to do it. YouTube, you learn how to cook a Tyrannosaurus Rex if that's what he wanted. So there's really no excuse. And I saw that you say your dad is correct about men being out there on the outside and women looking a little bit more appeasing than the woman in the bonnet and the robe and all of that. No, it's all good. One thing about me, I got tough skin. That does not bother me. I'm one of the women from the old school to where a man can, give me a compliment or something. I ain't gonna be like, me too. Don't you be talking to me like that. And, I get it. I don't want everyone to begrudge a man of being that. So I wasn't. I didn't feel disrespected. If that makes any sense. Thunder, you say it's hard to stay in shape when Mildred cooks every day, and I'm talking about meals. Yeah, but back in the day when people they ate dinner, what did they do? They went for a walk after dinner. Let's go for an after dinner walk. You walk it off, but do it together. Don't say, well, no, I'm not gonna go. I'm just sit on here on this couch. And then I'm talking to y'all men, because a lot of times men they don't be wanting to do the after dinner walk or before in the morning or nothing like that. Go together so you stay in shape, right? Exercise together. Let's do 30 minutes. of exercise in the day, then we can do 30 more at night. You know what I'm saying? Fast Now Phyllis says women can gaslight. Yeah. I would say that, yeah, we're pretty good at it. But in my experience, everybody gaslights. But I think with women, we know how to, when I say we, I ain't talking about me, we know how to cheat just a little bit better. Like y'all men, y'all sloppy. Y'all be leaving paper trails and all kind of stuff, and it's just like, did you want to get caught? Like, why would you swipe your ATM card that you and your wife are joint on? And then you're swiping it for the Motel 6 or the Snooty Fox or something. And you didn't take your wife there. So that's how y'all be getting caught. But women, they like, nah, it's going to be a cold day in hell before you catch me. And Love JJ said the courting stage dies 30 days within the marriage. Sad. Yeah, so there you go. It ain't even 6 months at that point, right? And CB says that conversation from last week was hard to get through. Donovan and the men that came up to speak sounded like, oh no, whining little boys with their feelings hurt, Black women too confrontational. Yeah, it gets heated, and as I said, it was tough. And, it is going to be our job not to have y'all go through that, because Donovan is entitled to his opinion. I'm entitled to mine. But as I said, we always want to make sure we interject respect at the end of the day. So that's what we're going to work on. And Mina, how you doing? He says, a real relationship takes a lot of mental between both men and women. Even though cheating is a choice, there are different reasons why someone would give their body to other people. That is true. Some of it is opportunity, or, well, I had a little bit too much to drink, or we're away on this company trip and our spouses are at home, and why not? They'll never know. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm just one of those people. I never could just have casual sex. Never have, never will. Like, I got to be attached to you. I got to spend some time getting to know you. And I don't know. And no shade to anybody who can. I just can never do that. It's just like, I don't know anything about you. You don't know nothing about me. And we just gonna jump in bed together. Because we know when you're doing that, it's a very intimate thing. And a lot of times we think sex is just about the mommy sex, okay? Jump on, do your little 2 minutes, and get off. We know there's a whole lot more involved. And that's why I said, too, when people cheat, and you don't realize that the person that's cheated on is like, but y'all didn't just do the mommy sex. Y'all did a whole lot of other stuff. And wow, why would you do that with somebody that's not me? So, but I agree. And Mike says, maybe he was cheating on her while she was a big and she's on that get back. She could have been. I don't know. It's a whole lot of stuff. Oh, I'm behind in these comments. Let me catch on up here. Secret Garden Bay, how you doing? Long time no see. Saying you're getting fluffy is soft and sweet. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to say you're getting fat, girl. You're getting a little too fat. You're getting sloppy. Because then you might have to duck. You might want to find a loving way. Well, you're getting a little fluffy around the middle. Whatever. Oh, honey, come on. I know we ain't been out walking or went to the gym lately, but come on, let's go to the gym together. Yeah, and I'd love that you cooking all that stuff for me, but maybe we can cut out the carbs and maybe eat some, green, or, whatever. If y'all men find a way, and even women, because a lot of times people think women are okay with being with a man who is not at his best either. Just find a way to say that, let's get healthy or whatever. Miss Sweet Talk says, what happened to working it out with your spouse, letting each other know so everyone is on the same page? Cheating is a hell no. Yeah, that's about being an adult. Let's have a conversation. And I think, unfortunately, we think that conversation should be comfortable. It should be easy. Some conversations are hard, but we gotta have an open mind. Like, if I love you, you my spouse, yeah, you might be saying some things to me. Now I'm sweating. That's uncomfortable, but is it necessary? Because holding on and dying on that hill, I ain't not losing no weight. Too bad. I don't care what are you out there looking at some skinny women or something? I'm not losing no weight. All right. You hold on to that and see what happens. So We got to have those conversations. And Donovan says, we will not mount a bison, a horse. Yes, a bison. Hell no. So y'all lying. Cause I see some of the women y'all be with. Y'all will mount a bison. Y'all just ain't gonna tell nobody you're doing it. Facts Not Feeling says the number one reason why men cheat, women cut off the sex, or she's deliberately starts to make herself look unattractive. Deliberately, huh? Yeah, that's one thing I know. Um, Sometimes women we do have a habit of thinking, well, when God made this, He broke the mold, and if you don't do what I say, then I'm not gonna give you none. I'm telling you, I learned a lot when I worked at the factory, Frito Lay, because I worked around a bunch of men. Like in the department I was in, it was mostly men. And I want one of my friends. He said his fiance tried that with him. Said, "Oh, well, you didn't take out the trash tonight. I'm not gonna give you none. Well, you didn't do this. I'm not gonna give you none." So he said he was sick of it because he said it wasn't even that, like it was just you just trying to control him with it. So he said one day he was like, "All right, fine, fine. You know what? I'm gonna go to the store. You want anything back? I'm gonna go to the store." And then he said he found himself going to the store quite often. So he said he let her think that she was controlling him, but he said I was out there getting it somewhere else. She just thought I was at the store. But he says women think they can control a man with, withholding sex. He was like, you ain't got the only hole in town. So yeah, that's never a good idea. As far as deliberately making yourself unattractive, I don't know about deliberately, but maybe letting yourself go, just not being cognizant of that. Sure, I can see that. And Mike says, my granddaddy always said you can't get upset with your spouse when they got you looked a certain way, then start letting yourself go down the road. Yeah, and it's like, I get it. Sometimes life happens, but why would you think that's all right? Why would you think that's all right to say, well, too bad. This is what you're getting. Because he wasn't jumping in, and I'm saying he because I'm a woman, but I know it goes both ways, but he wasn't jumping into bed with you and with all that. And when y'all first got together, I get it, he might have a baby, got some baby weight, and then, people talking about I got some baby fat. Your child is 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? So if you know your man like you a certain way, then I don't even know why that's an argument. You can't make nobody take you that way. You can't. And if he's not attracted to that, you can't guilt him into that. Well, I'm your wife. Yeah, you my wife. And then some at this point, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble. Black America said most women are very selfish. Most women, you think most women are selfish? In regards to what? Facts Not Feeling says if a woman is bored, why don't she pay a visit to her man at work and give him some cake at lunchtime? You know what I'm saying? Yes, I agree with that. I know some people are gonna be like, ew. Yeah, but you got to find a way because it's going to either be you going to the job, it's going to be a woman working at the job. Especially, I'm not saying that if you're doing all you can, but if you're not, yeah, figure out how you can keep it hot, keep it spicy, because you plan to be together forever. Having the same old drink after a while is gonna be like, I want to try something else. But like, oh, I'm gonna be your something else. Okay, stay right there. You come out the room and you be something else. I don't know. Black America says if you haven't had sex in a year or longer, they are making you cheat. Oh yeah, that's abusive. That is really abusive to do to somebody. It's like, well, what you think they gonna do? You should be loyal to me anyway. We took vows. It's like in those same vows, in the Bible it says, do not keep yourself from each other for too long to keep away temptation. So, don't just hold on to that vow where it's for better or worse. Or I can do whatever I want to do to you. Now you got to, read in between the lines, include everything. Cecilia, thank you so much. It says, Demetra, I love that you're a natural Black woman. You represent us well. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think this is my opinion. We should try to be as natural as possible. But to each his own. But thank you so much. And Tanya, how you doing this fine evening? And let me catch up because I could see. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm really behind. I'm just running my mouth. Doug Christie, how you doing, Aboriginal woman? Yes, Doug Christie. Now his wife. A lot of people had a lot to say about her, but I can't blame her. Like, now y'all ain't gonna get no opportunity to be throwing your panties at my man. And Tanya, you say especially, he says, with the sports players and celebrities. Black America says, get out of the chat, ain't and hit that like button. So you're talking to Donovan or what? And hi Q, how you doing? It says, if they work, raise children, cook and clean, they don't want have time to feel bored and lonely, or they won't have time rather to feel bored and lonely. Um, yeah, but that's especially if you're talking about the woman, she don't have time. But so sometimes it's not that she's neglecting you in that way. Sometimes she maybe just be tired. So just finding a way to say, okay, how can I help you so you can help me? Arniba, how you doing? Yeah, you have a V8. All right, let me catch up because I'm behind. Facts Not Feeling says the guy who said men are as faithful as their opportunity is a simp. It's women who is as faithful as their opportunity. Men who are married don't want to mess up that access to regular sex. I mean, I take your word for it. I think weak people take advantage of opportunities because opportunities is everywhere. I think it makes you weak to say, "Well, I'm gonna mess up a good thing I got here for couple of minutes of fun." Miss Sweet Talk, you say, Wesley Snipes and Angela Bassett and Waiting to Exhale had an emotional affair. That's what it was. Ooh, I'm behind. I'm going to catch up for real, for real. Shamishi says, intelligence is more attractive than being loose. To know a person cares about their people may be culture, art, sports, cooking, long conversations. If you have someone, sex is important, but it's in the mind of a lady that keeps a mind of a man, not the body as much as the intellectual attractiveness she possesses. I agree with you. I think there has to be a little bit more to it. Brother Samuel, how you doing this fine evening? All right. So Aboriginal woman says, I did too. When I was really small, I looked like a bobblehead. Yeah. Some of us sisters can't be really small. No, not for me. Because I got a little bit more meat on my bones than I would say most people. So 140 pounds, you can really, y'all can see my collarbones a little bit, but you can really see it. It's like, but I thought I was looking, fresh and fly. I knew you was gonna say that. You say you would look good at 140 pounds. Post a picture. I have one on my phone. Let's see if y'all can see it. That was about. Ah, it's kind of hard to see. I think I was a little bit heavier then. Um, I think too the way I lost it because I was super staunch vegan. Sometimes I kid you guys not. I could do like 15 miles a day, walking and hiking, 40,000 steps a day, because I would go 2 and 3 times a day. So it was an unhealthy obsession. So I think I lost it the wrong way. So I'm still losing it now, but we'll see. Cecilia say I'm 5 feet 2, 120 pounds. You say I love me. Yeah, so some women can carry that well. Okay, so let's see here. He said read the rest of the post from that one. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but let me. I'm really behind. Okay, I'm gonna skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. I could be a little bit more in real time. Arnibia says one could never get bored practicing tantra, which intercourse is involved. Yes, I learned about that with Sting and his wife, Sting from the Police. I saw them talking about that, and I was like, that's interesting. But that takes a lot of patience, and some people just want to get on, be like a jackrabbit and be done. Miss Sweet Talk, she said a side piece eventually wants to take the wife's spot. Yeah, that's why I said I could never be a side piece because I already know. I know how I'm built. Now I can't share. And Candia, hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, heck, if ones water their own grass, it will be just as green. They have diseases out there that will that will burn through condoms, and some there are no cures for. See that me and you on the same page. Yeah, forget that. Oh, I'm just out there, you just doing what we're doing. But yeah, you can give somebody something that they didn't ask for, and that's very selfish, Brother Samuel say, Minister Farrakhan said every woman is a one man woman unless made otherwise by a no good man. You know you're gonna get yourself in trouble in the chat with that one, right? um, and Tiny says, a bowl on top. Yeah, y'all know how they be making those cup of noodles. Put the bowl on so the steam will stay in there, and then dinner served. Really? Y'all think I'm funny? People say I'm funny. I'm like, I really don't be trying to be funny. So this says, both men and women should know how to cook. How are you going to feed the kids? Yeah, I totally agree. I don't. When I say a woman, because I'm one of those women, I do all the cooking. As I said, I don't want my man in my kitchen. Thank you. Put your dish in the sink. I'll do the dishes. But yeah, I think men should know how to cook. You know, you don't want to be looking crazy talking about now how do I boil water? You should know how to do that. And what if I'm sick one day and I'm like, I can't, I'm really not up to it. Do you think you could cook dinner today? Yeah, sure. So I definitely think that's a skill a man should possess. Brother Samuel said the physical part only keeps the man interested for as long as the act happens. That is true. And it's like, what else you got outside of that bed? Another wise man told me when I worked at Frito-Lay, he says, it's all good when you're in the bed, but when your feet hit the ground, you still got the same problems. You still got to get to real life. What else can you do outside of, humping on each other or whatever? And that's where a lot of our relationships fail, because it's like, well, all we can do is hump each other. We don't know how to do anything else. So Cosmo Energy, how you doing? It says, girl, guys 30 and up don't care if a woman can cook. That's a misconception. I know a few women that don't cook and can't cook and have good husbands. That is true as well. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of things that are true. I just know, I'm 52, so I know a lot of men in my age. Yeah, they want a woman that could, cook something, because eating out ain't good for you. And I was always one of those people. I never wanted to feed my man processed foods or cooking out or whatever. So it's just better to cook at home. But I get you. And Michi say, all women don't cheat. I'm not saying be Martha Stewart, but at least learn how to cook a few meals. Yeah, where like, something. They could say, my wife, man, she make the hell out of a roast beef or something, But a bologna sandwich, it's cute, but it ain't going to get it. Cecilia says, if a man works all day and you're not working, you should at least cook. I totally agree. There is no excuse for your man to come home after working all day and not smell nothing cooking. He should, when he get out the car, he should smell some aromas, coming from the house. Like, yeah, my baby in there cooking. I'm starving. I know it's gonna be good, because that's too how I would say. I'm just speaking for me. We as women, we express love to our man. Like, I know you've been out there. I ain't trying to have you going through no drive-through, because I want you to always know I cook. You ain't got to ever call me and say, "Did you cook today?" Because you already know I'm cooking. Just come on. Uh, Beach, you say men stupid cheat, or men who are they. I'm gonna leave that one alone too. Buck horses as cheaters. And yeah, I'm really behind the snooty fox. Yeah, those of y'all who live in Los Angeles, y'all know what the snooty fox is. I probably listen. My grandmother had a wicked sense of humor too. So when I was younger, she would always say, "I'm going to the snooty fox." Now, as a younger, I was probably like 10, 11. But like I said, my grandma had a wicked sense of humor. I'm thinking the snooty foxes, it's a classy hotel. Now, mind you, she didn't say what she was going there for. But now that I'm older, I'm like, for real? But again, she was joking. So I'm thinking the snooty fox is like a classy place. But when I got older, I learned you got to like take your own sheets, right? You can rent it by the hour. And it's like, no, I think my grandma was supposed to be going up in there. But of course, she was joking. I hope. And Yawade, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Facts Not Feeling says, here is another secret women won't tell you. The guy who they are cheating with, she will make sure that guy and each other, and will bring that guy around. Oh, wow. And will bring that guy around you. That's a thrill for her. Yeah, I actually know some I ain't gonna lie. I know some women who have done that. Oh, this is my homeboy. Yeah. We good. Like, they really good, right? Now that's horrible. All right, for real. I'm gonna catch up for real. And so I don't mean to skip by y'all. Richard, how you doing? Said makes one wonder what was the real incentive to lose 100 pounds. Pretty sure it wasn't her health. Yeah, maybe she has some other motive. Maybe she was trying to get hooked up by somebody else. All right, so let's see. They crazy. If we talking about a bison, definitely a lie. They'll hop on that bison. And Shemeshi says, yes, yes, you were. Oh, yes. Yeah, I was sweating a minute ago. Angela says she was curious about other men and she let that work relationship go too far. Yeah, and we know there's a whole bunch of work relationships because, we've heard people say, oh, that's my work husband or that's my work wife. Sometimes, you cook a little extra at home and you take your work husband some lunch or whatever, because maybe he with a woman who ain't cooking or whatever the case is. And so sometimes those work marriages, if you will, it becomes a little bit too real, right? And I don't know how appropriate that is that you have a work husband, but I know that yeah, we're at work with people. We probably spend more time at work than we do at home. So I can get how you can forge a relationship, but when you get it in your mind that we are work married, it's like I might want to find another term because it might end up turning in to something else. But yeah, work relationships. I'm telling you, I've seen. I'm a kid, y'all not. And Richard, he's on here. I don't know if he's still on here. He also worked at Frito Lay, and they had a saying that said Frito Lay is the only place that you can turn a housewife into a hoe, because that's how it was up in there. Cosmo says also a mature, experienced man doesn't treat all women the same. He knows we're not all the same, and he acts accordingly. I agree with that. I agree with you too. It does take maturity. It's like you know, in every aspect, even with cheating. I can, but I'm not. I can, but I'm not gonna do that. You know. Oh, you say calling women females is weird. Yeah, that's something that's kind of come across within I don't know. I mean, I know we are females, but yeah, that's kind of something like the last 15 years. I don't know, maybe even longer. A female, women is a better term, I would think. Cecilia says a fight broke out at my job behind cheating, both were fired. I'm telling you, there was times where people's spouses would come up to the job. I kid you not. One time, I'm telling you, I've seen it all. One time, one of my coworkers, she kind of was, it's kind of weird. I won't say she was creeping. Her and her husband were separated, but her husband was kind of, so she kind of had a relationship with this guy that was on our team or whatever. And we happened to work night that particular night. So her and the dude at work, they got in the car together and they was going to go somewhere else. When I tell you this man, her husband jumped out the bush and chased them around the car. And then she got in the car with him. The next day, she comes back to work. She still has the same clothes on. She said, he was saying he was going to kill me. He drove me up to the mountain and he said that he was going to kill me for what I did. And so somehow she got away from him. And so I was like, damn, for real? And I kid you not, no sooner than she told that story, somebody came because we was in the women's locker room. Somebody came to the women's locker room. I ain't going to say her name. Says, her husband is out here. We was like, oh my God. So she ran and hid in the shower because it was times where this man will walk onto the floor all the way to the back of the plant because me and her work together and would just you put a hairnet on and just be walking around like I just came to say hi to you. It's like you ain't supposed to be back here. So I've seen it all, and people have gotten fired for being humped on in the car in the parking lot, like a lot of stuff. And it's like people be tripping, You crazy. Talking about car cake at work is the best. Hello, Brina. How you doing? Arnie says, a hippopotamus is way too fat for me, Sly Stone. Brother Sammy says, the Quran says, said, your wife is your go into her as you like, but send on some. So I think you probably driving and maybe talking to text. Retype that if you will, so I don't mess that up because I wanted to give it the proper context. Soto says I just hate when women put more effort in makeup instead of their physique. I'm gonna expect their man to just see the face only. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's a total package, right? And I tend to think if you take care of your body, then your skin will follow. Now, of course, y'all know I wear lipstick and mascara and stuff, but I don't put stuff on my face because I'm always touching my face, and the left side of my face will be all over here by the time I get through touching all over my face. Mike says my granddaddy was cheating on my grandma. Why you telling your granddaddy business? I'm just playing. My granddaddy was cheating on my grandma while she was in her final stage of cancer. I'm not gonna say he wasn't there for her during it, but it was still wrong as f. Yeah, it's like, I mean, because if she was in her final stage, it doesn't sound like she was gonna be, around much longer. It's like you couldn't wait. Golly, yeah, and that's tough. Brina says Eve was bored and walked away into temptation. Don't sleep on your woman. Who you talking about when she bit that apple? Angela says if your mate is not knocking your socks off, it leaves the door open for a woman to cheat. Um, I mean, I can see that, but I think too, for that woman is like, is it all about sex with your man, or is it something else? I mean, because I get it. And another one of my coworkers too, he always used to say, only in the movies. He used to say it all the time, only in the movies. Because and on the big screen, you're seeing people having this fabulous sex, and they're just like, I watch Sex in the City every night. Sex in the City is my go-to to where as I'm winding down. I probably should be reading, but I'm just not a reader when I'm going to sleep because I'm not gonna read. So I watch Sex in the City, and on Sex in the City, it's like, wow, and they be doing the most. If you haven't watched that show, it's not for the faint of heart. But it's like it's only in the movies. I'm sure in their real life, they ain't doing none of that. So yeah, we ain't always get our socks knocked off. And, sometimes for women, they have to realize it ain't going to be for you tonight. Sometimes it's just for him. Sometimes you don't want to do it. You got to say, all right, this ain't for me. This is for him. You know, get your little 2 minutes with over with, and we can go back to sleep, whatever. Oh, uh, oh, you said, oh, fly guy, you crazy. Talking about I look like video vixen in that photo. And that was a couple years back. Um, I ain't trying to get that small. But my hips and everything else ain't going nowhere. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. Uh, I'm just reading y'all comments. All right, Brother Samuel says emotional cheating is really the real cheating that hasn't manifested physically yet. Oh, yeah, it's worse. Yeah, it's me, it's worse. Facts I Feeling says, check this out in the chat. If there are 40 women, over 30 of them have cheated at least once in their life. Well, I don't want to ask them if y'all cheated because I don't want nobody to get told on. But if they want to say that they have or they have not, I'll leave that up to them. Michael, I got your email. I'm gonna get back to you. Yesterday, I just kind of had a lot going on, but I did get your email. You say, Demetria, why do most women want men to read between the lines in terms of being friends? I kind of think by nature, and I don't know what it is about women, we want you to read our mind. Well, how I feel. I don't know. It's just, but no, we gotta really be good at, saying this is how I feel, this is what I want, or this is what I don't like. And that's why I said it takes maturity. Now, just because a person is, I don't know, in their 50s or 60s or 40s, that don't mean they're mature. It just means that they're older or old, right? But we just got to really be good at just saying, you know what? This is what it is, so people don't guess. Like if you're not into somebody, just say that. Don't, well, okay, I'm gonna go out. Or, a girl's gotta eat. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna hang out with him, but I'm gonna let him know, it ain't never. Just don't go out. Don't lead people on. You're a really nice guy. I appreciate you showing interest in me, but right now, just not a good time for me. You don't even have to say I'm not into you. It's not really a good time. I'd like to remain friends, but if that's too much for you, then maybe we can't be friends. But just get the uncomfortable things out of the way up front. Don't have people guessing. All right, so let's see here. Facts Not Feelings says the average American woman have 3 concurrent, really sexual partners. That's a CDC staff for real? That's a lot. That's a lot. How you doing, Rashad? How you doing? Bologna sandwiches. Marcella, how you doing? Says, I'm so glad that I've been married. Ooh, that's a long time. 42 years. I know my man is a man and he knows I'm a woman. We had a baby. I feel sorry for people dating today. People don't know what they're getting. It's a lot of foolishness in them streets. It is, because it seems like when I was younger, and maybe before the internet, like it wasn't hard to get a man. Like you go outside, it's like, oh, there's a man. We together, and the relationship will last. Like I'm used to being in long-term relationship, like 5, 6, 7 years. That's me, right? I don't do a lot of short-term relationships. But it seems like it was just easier back then. You walk into the mailbox, hey, how you doing? Bam, we in a relationship. But nowadays it's like, for real? Why has it got to be that hard? Mike says cooking for your spouse is an amazing way to show love, especially if you take the time to make sure it tastes good. Yeah, don't be just giving him no bland, grits or something like that. Put your foot in it. Make it taste good to where he be like, man, I ain't never gonna let this woman go. I don't care what she do to me. The way she frying up some chicken in here, Yeah, the snooty. I didn't know that though. Now, mind you, I'm 52. So when I was like 10, well, that was like 1981 or so, somewhere around there. So maybe not then it was snooty. Because with the snooty fox, the mascot was a fox and its tail was all fluffy in the air. So and it had I think it had a little cane or something. So it was snooty. So I thought it was like the Ritz Carlton or something, but I didn't know it was like pay by the hour type of situation. And Cecilia said, "Yeah, that's dangerous to bring your lover on your man." But that's why I said women know how to do it better. Because it's like, well, if I bring my lover around my man gonna be like, well, he wouldn't even think twice. Like, nah, I know this heifer ain't bold enough to bring her side piece to shake my hand, right? But that's that. Okay, we just gonna play it off. Like, we just cool, whatever the case is. That way he ain't gonna know. Not to have an excuse for hanging out with you type of thing, right? Now, I do know some women who have pulled that one off. Horrible, horrible, horrible. That's not feelings to say. Any woman who says work husband or work wife, leave them immediately. Yeah, that's. And Michi say it's inappropriate. It is, because I get it. We get close to people at work, but start saying my work husband, nah. Wilbur, how you doing? And Bug Horseshoe says slick chickaroos. Miss Sweet Tasha says Frito-Lay turning housewives into hoes. I'm telling y'all, if I was to write a book, and did y'all see the story about the hot Cheetos? The hot Cheeto story. I actually knew him. I knew him, like for real. I knew him. So there's a lot of stories. I mean, somebody really could write a book about at least that particular Frito-Lay. It was like, golly. And even before I got there was some wild stories. I started working there in 1995. But they said it was really off the chain, like in the 70s and the 80s and all of that. I was like, even more so than now. They was talking, well, this is back in the day, but they said that they would have a bottle of alcohol in the women's lounge and probably one of the men's too. And when they got on break, they'd go in there, take a swig and go back to work. Mike says, dang, so all I need is a bag of Fritos to get a hoe. Well, the point that I'm making is that's how wild and loose it was there, where women would come in there and they're, all mousy and, I'm just here to work. I just here to earn a living. And then a couple months later, pow, they, you hearing about them at these parties and like wild stuff. Now, me being the lady and proof that I am, they would always invite me to these parties. I'm like, listen, I ain't trying to be, because I work 410s with my team. I'm like, I'm not trying to be here with y'all 10 hours a day, let alone get off here and go to some bar with y'all. They be like, you think you better than us? I said, I don't know, but I'm not hanging out with y'all because I heard about y'all little wild parties and all of that. And what y'all not going to do is come back to work and say that y'all was choo-choo with me, because that's the kind of stuff that they did. But yeah, I would have some guys try to, holler at me. And I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Because a lot of these women be up in here saying, yeah. And I'm like, first of all, homie, you married. I had one guy, he was trying to talk to me. And he was a big time deacon in the church. Now, I was 23 at the time, and he was like, I don't know, 35, 40. So I was a little bit older than me. And he always tried to talk to me. And one day he came where I was working, and he had a piece of paper. So I reached out. That's before cell phones. Took the paper and I opened it, and it was a number. I said, "What's this?" He said, "It's my number." I said, "It's a number to your house." I said, "So I'm supposed to just call your house?" I said, "You married?" Well, if she answered, telling you ain't trying to speak to everybody in the house, are you? Just telling you trying to speak to me? Can I ain't gonna say his name. I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." I said, "I see your wife. She's a lovely woman. Why would I?" But a lot of women would. So not me. Norris, how you doing? You say in a relationship, be careful with expectations. Sometimes we put expectations on others that we can't live up to. That is true, especially nowadays in social media. Girl, I rock your world. I have your toes curled up and swinging from the chandelier. And then when you get together, it's like, wow, you didn't even have me. Never mind. Anyway, Juggernaut, how you doing? You say insecurity is the majority downfall of relationships, second to finances. Yep, insecurity, and I would even throw inconsistency in there, because when you first get together, you don't miss a beat, right? Then when you get a little comfortable, you start doing things that are out of the ordinary, and it's like, what you doing? You don't typically come home 2 hours later. What are you doing? And he might not be doing nothing. But it's the inconsistency that kind of makes people wonder, right? So I agree with you. The average logical thinker says she came to work the next day in the same clothes. Yeah, because he had like low key kidnapped her, and then he came back up to the job to finish it. And my boss and another one of the supervisors had to walk him out of here. And my boss was a black man, and he said to him, he says, when she at work, she belonged to me. He says, when she outside of these doors, she belonged to you. He says, but you're not coming up here to do or say nothing to her. Now, y'all take that up when she get home, but she belonged to me as long as she on the clock. And the man walked out. Well, we was all scared, like, damn. I thought he too was going to go in the locker room and like, because he said if he see me at work, and I'm talking to a guy, he going to come in here and drag me by my hair. I was like, well, I'm going to try my best to help have that not happen. I try to put up a fight as best I can, but I actually went and got the supervisor. I was like, yeah, homie run around this plant looking for her. Y'all need to do something about that. So that was kind of wild. Kiki, how you doing? He says, hey, Demetri, hey, peeps, all missing our Donovan. He in his chat somewhere. He had something to do today. Says, she didn't lose the weight for her husband. I'll never get why people cheat. Shaking my head. It just isn't worth it. That's such a selfish act to me. Just let the other person go. Yeah, let him go. I agree with you. It was lit. I'm telling you, there's a lot of stories coming up out of there. Woo! If I wrote a book, I think I'd be wealthy, but then, some people might be mad at me. All right. I'm going to skip down. Brother Sammy says, okay, here we go. The Quran says, said, the woman is your tilt. Go into her as you like, but send on some good before. And I don't know if there's more to that. So I get where you're going with that. Yeah. And, I think men who are sensible understand, okay, man, I can't go into the tilt every night. I need to give the tilt a break, but if you at the woman being the tilt, if it's like, no, not tonight. I got a headache tonight. Gonna have one tomorrow too. And guess what? Next Monday is off the calendar as well. I'm gonna have a headache then too. I don't know when I'm gonna not have a headache. Because y'all know back in the day, that was the excuse when a woman then, I have a headache. And then men got clever and said, well, I read a study and said this is actually gonna cure your headache. But yeah, be sensible. Only in the movies. Right. He might have been talking about, some porn. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. For real, only in the movies. Because, a lot of times we go to the movie and we think it's a fairy tale. Especially women. We go and see a chick flick. And I don't typically like chick flicks. I guess maybe I'm weird in that way. But we'll go see a chick flick and they be mad at your man. Why you don't Bring me roses every day. You don't never come up to the apartment on a horse and get down on one knee. Why you don't do all of that? Why you don't rent a hot air balloon and take me up in there? It's like, because it's only in the movies, Cosmo says sex is overrated in my opinion. It can be hot during the honeymoon phase, but that doesn't seem to last. I've heard, somewhere a lot of women say it's overrated, but then I'm one of those like, well, maybe you ain't doing it right, but maybe I done said too much. I don't know. Yeah, some women say it's overrated. But yeah, I'm gonna be a lady up here, okay? But yeah, a lot of women do. I've heard a lot of women say it's overrated. Freddie B, how you doing? You say us brothers love the hips on you sisters. Yeah, that's one thing about the sisters, boy. We got it honest, don't we? We got it honest. And you can see the hips more when we, do some jumping jacks and right. You tend to see the curves a little bit more. I know that's true for me. Like I know some men that say I like a thick woman. I'm like, I don't look good thick. I look like a linebacker thick. My neck get a little bit on the swollen side. My face end up meshing with my neck and my shoulders, and I just don't. I'm not one of those women that look good thick. When I say thick, I mean like with some lbs on me. You know what I mean? I don't. It don't look good on me. And Albrina says, I don't like people trying to figure me out. I'd rather show you who I am. Yeah, trying to guess. Well, I don't know. Do she really like this? Do she like that? Just tell them. Tell them what you like. That way y'all can make sure you're on the same page. But you have them doing guessing games and he going to see psychics trying to say, well, I brought a piece of her hair. Can you try to figure out? Just tell the man. And Kiki says, nope, I can proudly say I've never cheated. It's just not worth it. If you're not happy, leave. Yes, totally agree with you. Facts Not Feeling says it's gaslighting to say if you're not knocking her socks off, it leaves the door open to cheating. Many factors involve a woman reaching her climax. Many times it has nothing to do with the man. That is true. And that's another thing about maturity. You got to just say, hey, little to the left. Okay, maybe, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, well, maybe he'll just figure it out. No, you got to tell, because some people and that's also to assume that every woman's body is the same as every woman he's been with. It might not be. So just tell him, don't be mean, because you don't want mama remain a lady, but just tell him what you need. Y'all remember Dr. Ruth? Now that I'm really telling my age now, Dr. Ruth, she was like a sex doctor. And me and my sister, when we was like, it was probably like 13, 15, because I'm a year and a half older than her. We had a radio in our room, and Dr. Ruth would come on the AM radio at night, like late at night. And my parents didn't know we was up listening to Dr. Ruth, and we were like, what? What you mean? What are they doing? What does she mean? Use Michelob beer on it? Like what? That's always kind of been like a running joke with us, because we heard Dr. Ruth say to do something, told a woman to do something with some beer on his, and we were like, what? But we would listen to it, this naughty, knowing doggone well we shouldn't have been listening to it, but we would be laughing about it. But, RIP Dr. Ruth, she put a lot of people on game. Cosmo says, right, what the F are you trying to figure out? How to try to manipulate me? Just get to know me, period. Yeah, but we got to help the brother, or, if it's the other way around, help them. Help each other. This is what I like. This is how I am, or whatever. And then we can kind of go from there. But just to have a brother guessing, it's almost, because we hear men say this a lot. You ask a woman, well, where would you like to eat? I don't know. And then when he take us, I saw that video. I ain't trying to go to no Cheesecake Factory. Well, damn, I asked you, you didn't know. So I took you to the Cheesecake Factory. So just tell them I don't really like cheesecake like that, or whatever. Or I would prefer to eat here. Does that sound okay? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's go there. Miss Wee Talk says, write the book, Demetra, use a different a different name and publish it under urban fiction. I'm telling y'all, it'd be, I could put it on Tubi. I could make some scripts and put them on Tubi. It'd be movies of the week. And Cecilia says, God will remove from your life what shouldn't be there. If someone cheats on you, they are not for you. But let me ask y'all this too. Somebody cheats on you, let's say it's once. Do y'all think that's a total game changer, deal breaker? Because, a lot of times we say, uh, if once a cheater, always a cheater. Do y'all think that's the case? And Nora, she say, in a relationship, I only need to keep my side of the street clean. There you go. Focus on what you got going on your side of the street, right? Don't be looking across the street or over the fence at somebody else's yard, seeing what they doing. Steven, how you doing? It says crickets, no swinging at all. No, 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 no. Not those, not, yeah. To each his own. It just could not be me. Cosmo says, I don't do work friends with women. It's business only. Oh yeah, I have a lot of friends at work, and I'm still friends with a lot of those people today because that's the longest time I spent at a job. I was at Frito Lay 13 years, so I'm still friends with them to this day. But yeah, I mean, I don't probably have a problem having friends. I just think you should keep it appropriate though, right? Kiki says, says y'all haven't heard cheating stories until you work in I can imagine. Work in a hospital. So, and that's including the worker, staff, and patients. I could tell y'all some stories. I can only imagine. Listen, my daughter watches all those hospital shows, the Grey's Anatomy and the private practices and all of that. And I know those, I don't watch them because, I just ain't into those. But I'm sure those stories are somebody's real life story. So I totally believe you. Steven says, I almost lost my coffee. I was drinking. No chick flicking. Yeah, I don't know. Some of them are cool, but I just never been into it. I'm a horror movie fanatic. And I like action movies, stuff like that. The last Rambo movie I watched, so the last one that he did, I was at my dad's house and I hadn't seen it. I'm like, damn, Rambo really out here kicking ass. Like he really, and I was into it. I mean, Sylvester Stallone is 1,000 years old now, but he was out there doing it nevertheless. And I really love those Westerns. I'm like my dad. I love Western movies, old and new. But horror movies are my favorite. And it's weird because I'm not really, a lot of horror movies don't scare me. I know they got the new Exorcist coming out, so I don't know if I necessarily want to watch that. I might. But yeah, no chick flicks. But of course, see with the flowers and the hearts. And Andre, how you doing? Now see, Dr. Ruth. Y'all remember Dr. Ruth back in the 80s? I'm telling you, Dr. Ruth, she was an old lady too, real like old and fragile. She had the glasses on, but she was very like X-rated. But I guess if she's a sex therapist, like I'm not gonna say, okay, well, there's the female plug, and then there's a male, whatever she was real graphic. And so as being kids, it's like, now we know we shouldn't be listening to this, but we know she coming on at 10 o'clock tonight and we gonna be dialed in. Cosmo says, I done told a few and they still couldn't get it right. Yeah, some people aren't compatible in that way, but it takes patience, You telling a man left, right, now you ain't doing it right. He gonna, if y'all get what I mean, it's gonna be like, yeah, okay. Next. Facts and Feelings says most men are not having regular sex, so sex is only overrated for the average woman, and the top 20% of men who have it. So it said the top 20% of men who have it regularly. I don't know. I'm always shocked to hear that men aren't having it regularly. Somebody doing something, So I don't know. I have to take your word for it, but that always strikes me as weird. All right, Andre, I see your comment. I'm gonna leave it in the comment section. Buckhorse, she said, you remember Dr. Ruth? And Soto says, I remember Dr. Ruth that night here in the Bay Area. See, that's old school right there. Michi, you said she talked funny, but she was talking some real stuff. Yeah, she was. She, people calling him like, how this baby, he just can't, or whatever. And she would give him the dirty, but it was, from a professional viewpoint, but we would be cracking up like, what? Cecilia says statistics show Black men marry less. Yeah, that is true. And Fly Guy said, yes, major deal breaker. So somebody cheats. It is a major deal breaker. And book, she said, you done. All right. And Andre says, Renita Morgan, formerly known as Dimitri K. Now, who is that? Is that a porn star? I don't be into stuff like that. I've heard of a few people. And, believe it or not, I'm friends with somebody who was in that industry. So I know people from all walks of life. Y'all have to be thinking I'm up here just, be lying and kick it. No, I for real, for real. And I take it a step further because, I want to I don't want y'all to think that I was out there doing it. I wasn't. So one time, my particular friend, and, it's my sister's friend as well. Actually, her and my sister met first. Um, she was about that life. So we didn't really believe her. We thought, she was just talking big stuff. So she says, all right, tonight I'm going out to LA. Because LA, they have the players ball. So she says it's the players ball. And then afterwards, there's going to be a party at this high rise. She said, y'all should come with us. Me and my sister. So you can see what's going on. Now, mind you, when I went, I was thinking, okay, yeah, it probably ain't like that. So we get there. When I tell you, with some affluent people there, it was firemen, it was police officers, it was people from all walks of life there. So we get there, and she had a Honda too, and she put all her homegirls that was about that life, and we were stuffed in a Honda. And we went out to LA, and when they got there, they opened the goodie bags. And I say it was goodie bags, I was like, oh my God, oh my God. So it was a high-rise apartment. It was like 3 bedrooms or 2. So they went through the girls. They're like, okay, we're going to use the closet for y'all. Use your imagination what the closet was for. And this room going to be for this. And this room we going to change in, but, in the bathroom. And I'm like, wait a minute. You for real? You for real, for real? When I tell you, when all these dudes came in and they was doing all kind of stuff, and me and my sister was stuck in the corner like, what did we get ourselves into? What are we doing here? And we was like, don't you move. And then a couple of them said, are y'all working too? We was like, hell no. And I had my sister say, we ain't going nowhere. Don't let nobody touch us. And this went on to like 4 a.m. Now, this is what happens when you're curious. You shouldn't be too curious about stuff. It went on to like 4 a.m. And do you know some of those girls was like, oh, I got to hurry up and get home and get my kids so we can go to church. Because it was a Saturday night. I was like, you taking to going to church after what I saw you do? All right. Anyway, like I said, I got a lot of stories. So although you say cheating is a deal breaker, okay. Patty, how you doing? And Cosmo says, Demetri, do you think it's natural for us to be with one person romantically marriage? See, I don't know how natural it is, but I think if you marry somebody and you say, I'm only for you and you are only for me, I think that's where the problem comes in at, because we didn't, or whether you married a relationship or whatever, but since we're talking about a marriage, if we made a vow onto one another, that's where the problem comes in. But if we made the vow saying, hey, I'm gonna give you a pass, you're gonna give me a pass, but we are, with each other, then that's different. But if you did that outside of the vows that you weren't gonna do that, then that's what the problem. But natural, there's a lot of men that say it's not natural to be with one woman, but it's like, then why are you with one woman? Because there's a lot of women who are like, all right, I'll be with Miss Wednesday. I don't have a problem with that. But tell her that you need her to be Miss Wednesday because you got a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever. Tell her that. Or him, because there's some women who do it too. Jay Bubba, how you doing? It says the military is filled with cheaters. And y'all know my story about truck drivers. Truck drivers got one in every province, not state, but every province, every township, every alley. They got a woman in, man. Being with a truck driver is not for the faint at heart. It's just not. And Fly Guy says, I work in a hospital. She is a lion. I have mad stories. I bet they be ducking off into the rooms, in the storage rooms and all that other stuff. Soda says, yeah. He says, I can say stop. I can say goodbye too. Got it. And Steven says, yes, I work at a hospital, and it's like The days of our lives at General Hospital, right? uh, and then Cosmo says, I totally agree. Horror flicks are a thrill to watch. Yeah. They don't really scare me. And anybody who watches a movie with me, I end up laughing. Now, the other day, my daughter, she's from the generation. See, I'm from the generation where I could watch Psycho and be like, ooh, even though that was my mom's generation. Like I could watch those type of things and it'd be scary, like The Exorcist. Y'all heard the story about The Exorcist. People was running out of there. They was throwing up. They were scared, couldn't go to sleep. My mama's generation was Psycho. They didn't take showers because they were scared. That's where the bird bath came in, right? Because they were scared to get in the shower. I'm just kidding about that. But my daughter, she tried to get up and have me watch Saw. But y'all know Saw ain't what it used to be. Like it was a little gory. This particular Saw, I said, oh, hell no. I'm not scared. I just don't like gore. They was chained up and then there was these blades running. It was like 10 of them in a room. And in order for them to get free of the chain, they had to cut themselves with the damn saw. And it wasn't like all at once. It was like, okay, this person, they got to cut their finger. And then this person got to cut their arm. I was like, oh, hell no. I know you don't think I'm going to sit up here and watch all these people cut themselves? She's like, oh, you're weak. I say, you call me what you want. I can only imagine what the rest of this movie is going to be about. So I don't like gore, like when it's unnecessary. It's like, get to it already. We get the point. I saw they say STD. Cheating. There can be some STDs. And Micah says somebody said rip to Dr. Ruth, but she's still alive. And she's not. Dr. Ruth dead. Is she still alive? It's Dr. Ruth was 93 back in 83. How in the world is she still alive? But is she still alive for real? If she ain't, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kill you off. But yeah, okay. Andre says, I was giving you a pen name for your book. Oh God. I went I would keep that in mind. See, I was running my mouth. Kiki says, interesting. Do men really have sex less, or is that it's more women? Serious question, because there seems to be more women practicing abstinence and celibacy. I'm with you. I didn't know that men were having less sex. That's a new one on me. I see them like jackrabbits for some reason. Donovan says, BS, my sexy Afro Thunder was dropping it like it was hot and made the most money that night. I was like, no, you not. We not moving. I'm telling you, it was something to... And I tell you, I felt like I need to wash my eyeballs off with some bleach. I was like, I will never, ever be ever that curious again. And this is the cold part too. Them jokers was cheap up in there. The women was doing whatever they was doing. And the dudes, and there was some women up in there too, they was from the LGBT. They was dropping the money on the floor and picking the damn money back up and then dropping the money back on the floor. So me and my sister's like, oh no. So we gathered their money up for them, whatever. Like, yo, we gathered their money up. But I was like, y'all wrong for that. How y'all gonna recycle these damn dollars and throw them back on the floor? It's crazy. Andre says marriage is forsaking all others. Stick and stay. Yeah, you stick it out unless you can't, right? And Jay Bubba says those truck drivers love them. Lot lizards know them on first name basis. Yeah, they do. And then they come into town. They might meet a woman, or whatever the case is. And, oh, you the only one. I'm looking for me a God-fearing woman. And that's how I got caught up. My ex-husband was a truck driver. But I tell you, I got stories alone. I got some, man. I could be to-be rich if I wrote some of these stories of just the trucking stories alone. I'll tell y'all a story. Y'all want a trucking story? Here you go. One time I was on a truck with him, right? I was on the road with him for 30 days, and I'll never do that again, because sometimes we didn't always take a shower every day. I was like, oh no, your dispatcher is gonna have to understand. We need to stop and take a shower. So you take a shower, you have to stop at the truck stop. So anyway, we was on the road again, we was, because that's how you are in the truck, right? You bouncing up and down. That wasn't something else. You bouncing up and down riding in the truck. So it was my first night, in fact, on the truck. So I get in the back of the cab, it has a bed back there. I'm like, shit, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And I saw this Walmart bag. And I was like, oh, there's some pajamas in here. I said, oh, did you buy me some pajamas? He said, yeah, I bought you some pajamas. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get the pajamas and I hold them up. Now these pajamas was like triple X. I was not a triple X. And I'm like, did you think I was that big? Like, what are we doing here? So, like a dummy, I'm like, okay, well, he just got the wrong sizes. Oh man, I got the wrong size. My bad. We could take them back or whatever. And when I later found out, because found out who he was, who the pajamas was for, and she told me, she says, yeah, I was on the truck with him, and we stopped at Walmart and got the pajamas. Now she was a triple X, and I said, okay. So he lied. He didn't buy those pajamas for me. She just forgot them in the truck. So I got stories for days. And I say stories. Somebody says, what the hell is a lot lizard? So it's a woman and probably some dudes on the lot nowadays. It's a woman who, is on the lot, snaking to try to find who's, knocking on the window. You looking for some company? And a lot of times they be like, well, yeah. Lot lizard's a prostitute that be on the lot, for a lack of better words. Yeah, but he bought some triple X pajamas and said they was for me. Oh yeah, they say pilots actually, and Donovan, he could speak to that. They say pilots actually have a very high rate of cheating. Like I want to say they cheat the most. I don't know how true that is, but I did hear that pilots they be putting in some frequent flyer miles, if you know what I mean. Cosmo says, so truck drivers really do buy. Yeah, they and then some. They be buying it, financing it. And, they I'm telling you, they got a woman in every state. See, my ex-husband, and I say that with a little hesitation in the back of my throat, because we was only married for 10 months, but he was Western Union money and what is it? Whatever it was, because this was back in the day. And he accidentally left a bag of receipts in the closet. And so I went through him one day because I actually couldn't find him. I was like, where he at? He ain't answering his phone, just not thinking he's out there cheating. So I looked in his bag and Pandora's box opened up. And I tell you, he had all kind of Western Union receipts and a whole just to this woman here, that woman there. It was just like I got hit by a Mack truck. I could not believe it. Oh yeah, they be buying all kind of stuff. Robert, how you doing? He says, hi, I am retired truck driver, and you all right. See, I ain't got to lie to kick it. And he telling the truth. I couldn't imagine being with a truck driver back in the day before cell phones. You didn't know where your man was. He just had to call you. I don't know where he is. I talked to him 2 days ago. He was in Kentucky. He just really off the grid, right? And even before ATM cards, I couldn't imagine being with a truck driver, because that's how my ex-husband got caught up to. We had a joint account, and he swiping and paying for things, or swiping in places he said that he wasn't supposed to be in. So there's a paper trail. That's why I say sometimes, like if I was a man, I'm Western Union, other women the money. I ain't gonna keep the receipt. I'm burn it up or something. As Soto says, yeah, that's the difference in today's horror movies. Too much gore, not enough suspense and scary moments. But I know why they do gore, because this generation, they don't have an attention span long enough to let something build, right? Like we could watch a Psycho or a Silence of the Lamb or something like that, where it's more storyline. But now they know they got to be, stabbed crazy to keep people interested, which is really sad. And it just speaks to the attention span of society. Yeah, I needed some bleach for my eyes. I felt horrible. I was like, golly. I didn't believe her, and I should have. She was about that life. And I'm telling you, her roster was impressive. I'm talking about football players, you name it. Her roster was like, wow, you doing a lot. Where were you laughing? Cecilia says, us women that don't sell our bodies didn't know what a lot lizard is until now. Well, I knew what a lot lizard was because I actually used to work at a truck stop. Well, my mom as well. Not like that. We sold legal insurance to truck drivers. My mom, she was a really great salesman. She was like #1 salesman in the company So I went over. I didn't stay because I'm like, these men just want to go out on a date. I don't want. I'm not here for that. I had truck drivers talking about I paid to touch your feet. I'm like, how much you talk? I'm just playing. How much you want? I'm just playing. I never let nobody touch my feet, but I wasn't built for that. And then plus, I didn't do very well in sales until my mom was like, shoot, you got to put some red lipstick on. And, in part of the game, you got to flirt a little bit. Oh, he. Oh, for real? Oh, yes. Uh-huh. Sign right here. Oh, really? Oh, you haven't gotten the loan yet? Oh, put your initials here. Uh-huh. Mom telling me my mom was boss when it came to that. So it worked when I did that. But I was like, I don't really like flirting with these dudes because they really be doing a lot. Donovan says pilots have a whole other families and see alimonies up the yin yang. Yeah, I heard that pilots really notorious for hitting every state, if you know what I mean. Angela says I once dated a trucker, and most of them are 304s, if not all of them. If not all of them. And they, one thing about dating a trucker, they free with their money too. I'm gonna send you some money. You are? Okay. Cool. I cannot believe that Dr. Ruth is still alive. Wow. Is she still on the air? That is amazing. I don't know. If somebody else was another sex therapist that died, that I'm mistaken, but Dr. Ruth is still alive. I know why she's still alive too. I bet you. Shut up, Demetra. Shut up. Andre, you say joint accounts. Why? My money is my money. Your money is your money. It's our money when we need it all. Also known as property taxes, daycare, etc. No, we had our own accounts, but we had a joint account as well. Like, let's take care of some bills. But the knucklehead didn't have since God gave her cricket. Like you really out here financing women on the joint account? Like, what kind of women you used to dealing with? But like in all seriousness, when I found out that he was cheating, and I went into Pandora's box, and I found all those receipts and stuff, it was devastating. It was so devastating to where I went into anaphylactic shock. I didn't know that's what it was, because so the day before I went into anaphylactic shock, I was still just kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It was just like so much. So the next day, I went to the mall, had some pizza, went by myself. Then I got on a bus, and I was feeling, because I didn't have a car at the time, and I was in Chicago. So got on the bus, came home. It's no sooner than I got home, I started to break out in hives. And I was like, okay, damn, maybe it was something on the pizza. Maybe something I ate or something like that. So I called my mom, and I said, because my mom was a nurse, I said, yeah, I got hives real bad. She says, take a Benadryl. So I did. Benadryl kind of like really knocks me out. So I took a Benadryl, woke up a couple hours later, and I was covered more so in hives. One side of my mouth, my lips was like that. It was swollen, and pretty soon it was like that. Luckily, my tongue didn't get swollen, but I had hives from head to toe. Head to toe. It was just a lot, and I didn't know what was going on. And it was real cold at the time, so I turned the heat all the way up, and I was just baking. I was just really beet red. So I got up in the middle of the night, went to the bathroom. I tried to anyway, and I passed out. Bam! And the only thing that woke me up is I heard my phone ringing, and it was him. It was like 3:00 in the morning. Woke up, and then I turned the heat off because it was hot. It was so hot. So I went to the doctor a couple days later, and I told her what happened. She said, did you eat something? I said, nothing out of the ordinary. She said, yeah, you went into anaphylactic shock. She says, luckily your throat didn't close up or your tongue didn't swell up where you couldn't breathe. She says, if that ever happens again, don't wait. Because I didn't know. I just thought, I was allergic to something. But the point that I'm making is I'm so devastated that I went into anaphylactic shock just over, learning something like that. So I was like, yeah, this is probably not a good situation for me to be in. But I didn't even know a person going through something like that could have that effect on you. But I had that reaction for like 3 days. It was on and off, on and off, on and off. Did not know. Oh, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Cosmo said that's the confusing part. Some of them say they want a good woman, but will go broke, tricking on the prostitute. Which one is it? Yeah. Well, the woman, sometimes they say she provides the fantasy, Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Everything you're saying is correct. Oh, yes. I just love everything. Oh, yeah. Some men like that. So sometimes I guess maybe we need to learn how to wiggle and jiggle and, giggle for our man too. Buck person says, Miss K, when I get paid, I'm gonna drop. You gonna drop tank or you gonna drop bank? Cecilia said, Dr. Ruth still alive. My God, did not know that. Donovan says, Demetria loves too hard and deep to where it affects her health. She's all in with her man. Yeah, that's the story of my life. I guess I'll always be a sucker for love. I mean, the alternative is, treat them bad. I can't never do that, but we'll see. But I'll never let it affect me to that point again. That was pretty scary. Absolutely. So anyway, my daughter looking at me like, your food is getting cold. I'm supposed to stop eating at 7 o'clock. I do intermittent fasting, try to do one meal a day. And so it's past that. So I'm gonna have to go over. But anyway, I'll be back here with Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. And of course, Donovan and I will be back here on Sunday. So I really love and appreciate all of y'all. And Cecilia says, Trump 2024, don't care who doesn't like it. See, now you set it off already. I'm glad I'm getting up out of here. But anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow and then on Sunday, most definitely. But in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Love and appreciate everyone dearly. Peace. You have a good evening. Good evening as well.